Once upon a time, in a pretty town in America, there lived a man named Mike. Mike was kind, funny, and worked very hard. He had a lovely wife named Sarah, and 2 small children who laughed a lot. They had a red house with flowers in front and a dog named Bobo. Everything looked perfect. But sometimes, perfect things have secrets. Mike used to talk a lot with Sarah. They laughed, they cooked together, they even danced in the kitchen. But one day, Mike started feeling tired. Sarah was busy with the kids, and Mike felt like no one was listening to him anymore. Then came a little ping on his phone. It was from a lady named April. She worked with Mike. She said, "You look tired today. Are you okay?" It was just a message. Nothing bad, right? But Mike smiled. Someone saw him. Someone cared. So, he answered. And then, every day, Mike and April talked more. They talked about dreams, childhood, fears, even silly things like favorite ice cream. Mike started smiling more at work, but frowning more at home. Sarah noticed. "You seem far away," she said. Mike said, "I'm just tired." But that wasn't true. Mike didn't kiss April. He didn't hug her. But his heart was slowly walking away from Sarah. One night, Sarah found his phone on the table. It buzzed. A message from April said, "I wish you were here instead of her." Sarah's hand shook. Her eyes filled with tears. She looked at Mike, asleep on the couch, smiling in his dreams. But not smiling because of her. Something broke that night. And that was only the beginning. The next morning, the sun rose like it always did, but in their red house, everything felt dark. Sarah didn't say anything at first. She packed the kids' lunch, kissed their cheeks, and waved goodbye like usual. But inside, her heart felt like a glass that had fallen off the table. Mike noticed something was off. Her eyes were quiet. Her smile was missing. At work, April sent another message. "I dreamed about you again. I wish we didn't have to hide." Mike stared at it. His hands shook. He started typing, then deleted it. But April kept writing. And in those words, Mike felt warm again. Not love. Something softer, sneakier, like a shadow holding his hand. That night, Sarah said, "Can we talk?" Mike nodded, but his chest tightened. She held up the phone. His phone. "I read everything." Silence. Mike opened his mouth, but no words came. Sarah said, "You didn't kiss her. But you gave her the part of you that used to belong to me." Tears ran down her face. "You were mine, Mike. You told her your dreams, not me. You laughed with her. You built a secret place in your heart, and I wasn't allowed in." Mike wanted to scream. It wasn't love. It was just talking. But was it just talking? He couldn't answer that. Sarah didn't shout. She didn't slam the door. She just walked upstairs, and didn't come back down. That night, Mike lay awake, the house quiet. Even Bobo didn't bark. The silence was loud, and for the first time, Mike wondered if he had broken something that couldn't be fixed. But April was still out there, waiting. Would he go back to her? Would he fight for his family? The storm was just beginning. Mike didn't sleep at all. He stared at the ceiling, listening to the soft ticking of the clock, each sound like a hammer in his chest. Upstairs, Sarah was quiet, too quiet. Morning came, but it felt like winter inside the house, even though the sun was bright. The kids ate cereal in silence. Sarah didn't look at Mike. She looked through him, like he was a ghost. At work, April messaged again. "I missed you last night. Are you okay?" Mike stared at her words. Before, they felt like a warm blanket. Now, they felt heavy, like chains. He didn't reply. Not yet. Later that day, he walked into the break room and saw April there. She smiled. "You've been quiet," she said. Mike gave a weak smile. "Yeah, stuff at home." April stepped closer. Too close. "Maybe you'd be happier if you stopped pretending," she whispered. "You don't belong with her. You belong with someone who sees you, who wants you." Mike's heart thumped hard. He wanted to run, but part of him didn't. He felt 2 wars inside. One pulling him toward April. One begging him to fix what was broken at home. That night, when he got home, Sarah wasn't there. The kids were with Grandma. A note sat on the table. It was short. "I need space. Don't call. Don't text. I'll decide what happens next." Mike dropped into the kitchen chair, eyes wide. The house felt like a hollow shell. His chest burned. He picked up his phone. April's chat was still open. His fingers hovered. Should he go to her? Should he tell her it's over? Should he run? Cry? Apologize? He had never felt so alone. Suddenly, a soft voice in his head whispered, "You gave your heart away. Now you must fight to get it back." But, was it already too late? Mike stared at the note again. Don't call. Don't text. His heart dropped like a stone in deep water. He wanted to scream. Run to Sarah, tell her it was all a mistake. But how do you take back a heart that's already been given away, piece by piece, text by text, smile by smile? He walked to the kids' room. Empty beds, toys untouched, their giggles replaced by silence. He sat on the floor, picked up a small blue sock, and held it to his chest. I broke it all, he whispered. His phone buzzed. April, again, thinking of you. I made your favorite coffee. Want to talk? He turned the phone over, face down, but the message still echoed in his mind. Mike stood up. He paced, back and forth, then he grabbed his keys, but he didn't go to April. He drove to the church down the street, not because he was holy, but because he was lost. The church was empty, except for an old man sweeping the floor. Mike sat in the back pew. He didn't know how to pray, but the silence welcomed him. Tears fell, quiet, hot, real. He whispered, God, I messed up. I didn't cheat with my body, but I cheated with my soul. I forgot my vows. I forgot her heart. I need help. I need you. For the first time, he wasn't hiding. Back home, the red house still felt cold, but something had shifted in Mike. He went upstairs and opened a journal. He began to write, Dear Sarah, I need to tell you everything. Meanwhile, across town, Sarah sat at her mother's house. She held her phone. She wanted to block him. She wanted to cry, but mostly, she wanted truth. The kind that hurts, but heals. Because sometimes, love doesn't die from storms, it dies from silence. But maybe this silence was a seed. Mike wrote through the night, not just words, but wounds. He didn't try to make himself look good. He didn't explain, or defend, or blame. He confessed, with raw truth. I missed us. I didn't know how to say it, so I said it to someone else. I was wrong. I chose escape over effort. I gave April what belonged to you, my heart, my honesty, my attention. I betrayed you with secrets, not touch. But secrets can scream louder than kisses. Page after page. When the sun rose, his hands were tired, but his heart felt different. He placed the journal in a box. On top, he added a photo of their wedding day. Then, he drove to Sarah's mom's house. He didn't knock. He just left the box on the porch and walked away. Hours passed. Sarah opened the door. Her mother stood behind her, arms folded, watching, protecting. But Sarah, she was curious. She opened the box. First the photo, then the pages. She read every line, every pain. Some made her cry, some made her furious, some made her remember. Remember the Mike who danced with her barefoot in the rain, who made pancakes shaped like animals, who whispered prayers over their sleeping kids. But the man in the journal wasn't that Mike. Not yet. That night, Sarah called him. First time in days. He answered fast. Sarah? Her voice was calm, too calm. I got your letter. Silence. Then, I'm not ready to forgive you, but I'm ready to see if there's anything left to fight for. Mike held his breath. She added, I want to go to counseling. Just once. If you show me you're willing to rebuild this brick by brick, maybe I won't walk away. Mike whispered, I'll be there. I promise. But as he hung up, a message popped up. April, I miss you. Can we talk one last time? His hand trembled over the phone. One last time. The line between healing and falling was razor thin. What would he choose? Mike's hands turned cold as he read Sarah's message. Come to my mom's. Now, we need to talk. His mouth went dry. His heart pounded like a warning drum. He didn't reply. He didn't ask questions. He just grabbed his keys and drove. The sky outside was gray. Thick clouds hung low like they were listening. When he reached the house, Sarah was already waiting. Not at the door, on the porch. Arms folded, phone in hand. Mike stepped out slowly. Sarah, what's going on? She didn't answer right away. She looked at him like someone staring at a puzzle missing its last piece. Then she held up her phone. She sent me everything. Silence. I saw your messages. The ones you said you deleted. Her voice trembled, but she didn't cry. Not yet. I saw the photos. I saw how close you really were. Mike froze. He wanted to lie. Just a little. But something deeper than fear pushed him. Something harder than shame. Everything in those messages was real, he said. But I never touched her. I never meant to go that far. Sarah's eyes narrowed. You didn't mean to? You don't mean to fall off a cliff either. But if you keep walking toward the edge, guess what happens? He looked down. You're right. I was starting to forgive you, she whispered. I was starting to believe that maybe this was a mistake you could grow from. But now I don't know what's worse, the affair or the fact that you let her send me truth before you did. Mike's voice broke. I blocked her. I was trying to move forward. I didn't think she'd. Sarah interrupted. You didn't think. That's the problem. She held out the wedding photo from the box. Torn right down the middle. She dropped it at his feet. I don't know what I want anymore, she said, but I know I don't want this version of you. She turned, walked back inside, and closed the door softly behind her. Not a slam, not a lock, just a goodbye, or maybe a pause. Mike stood there, alone, again, and this time, the silence didn't feel like. The torn wedding photo lay at Mike's feet like a broken promise. He didn't move, not for a long time, not until the porch light blinked off, Sarah's quiet way of saying, "We're done for tonight." He picked up the picture. One side had her smile, the other, his, separated, like they were never meant to be side by side. He drove home slowly. Street lights passed like memories, blinking, fading, gone. At the red house, the air was heavy. Even Bobo didn't come to greet him. He just laid by the door, eyes low, tail still. Dogs know when something's wrong. Mike sat at the kitchen table. No lights, just the glow of the fridge and the hum of the night. His phone buzzed again. He stared at it, afraid. Not April this time. Unknown number. You think blocking me erases what we had? His blood ran cold. Another buzz. Photo attachment. One he hadn't seen before. April, in his office, smiling. His jacket on her chair. His coffee mug in her hand. A caption, "You gave me more than just your words." Mike felt sick. He had ended it, but she hadn't. And now, the past he thought was behind him was still chasing him, claws out, teeth bared. He dropped the phone on the floor and leaned back in his chair. He whispered to the silence, "I don't know how to fix this. I don't know who I am anymore." But in the silence, there was no answer. Only the soft ticking of the wall clock, each second reminding him that time keeps moving, even when hearts stand still. And across town, Sarah sat on her childhood bed, phone beside her, unread message still open. Her mother walked in and placed a cup of tea beside her. "You okay?" Sarah shook her head. "No, but I'm awake now." Her mother looked at her, eyes gentle. "What are you going to do?" Sarah stared at the ceiling. "I don't know, but I know this, he has to fight for me now, not with words, with change." Then, after a long pause, "Or he has to learn what life feels like when love leaves quietly." Days passed. No messages, no calls, just space, heavy, echoing space. Mike didn't try to win Sarah back with flowers or big words. He knew those were empty now. Instead, he started showing up, at therapy, at work, in himself. He faced the hard truths even when they stung. He confessed to his friends, took accountability with his kids. He even called April's number and left a final voicemail. "Don't contact me again. What we had wasn't love. It was my escape, and it cost me almost everything. I'm done running." Then he blocked the number again. This time, not out of fear, but strength. Meanwhile, Sarah watched quietly from a distance. She saw the small things, Mike volunteering at church again, Mike asking their son deep questions instead of scrolling through his phone, Mike showing up to co-parent with Grace, even when things were awkward. But still, her heart wasn't fully open. Until one rainy afternoon, she found something in the mailbox. A small, hand-bound journal. No name on the front, just one title, Proof of Change. Inside were dated entries, dozens, all handwritten. Day 12, didn't text Sarah, wanted to, but I prayed instead, letting her breathe his love, too. Day 27, cried after seeing her at school pickup. She smiled at someone else. I wanted to be jealous, but I was just grateful she smiled at all. Day 39, still in therapy, still learning, still unlearning. Day 56, I don't miss April. I miss who I used to be before I lost myself. Day 63, I'll wait. Even if she never comes back, I'll wait, because becoming a better man shouldn't depend on her return. Sarah closed the journal, her hands trembling. Later that evening, she knocked on the red house door. Mike opened it, eyes wide. He didn't speak. He didn't dare hope. Sarah looked at him for a long time, then whispered, "I'm not here to move back. I'm here to sit, to talk, to see." Mike nodded slowly. They sat on the porch as the rain fell around them. No promises, no vows, just praise.